Today we're going to be taking Photoshop into the third dimension. What's up everyone, welcome to Timbo, where I teach you the tips, tricks, and techniques that I've learned over the years, as well as the ones that I am currently learning as an artist. I am Timothy Santana. Assuming that your computer can handle working in 3D, we're going to be creating this 3D text effect. So I'm going to be showing you exactly how I created this effect, and hopefully you'll be picking up some tips and tricks along the way. And for those of you who can't work in 3D, it's just not possible. Your computer just can't handle it. No worries, been there. So I'm going to show you exactly how to create this same exact effect, but without the use of 3D. Be a little cheat there. Looking out for the little guys. Yeah. But anyways, let's get this tutorial started. And tutorial. Alright, so here we are in Photoshop, CC. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. Alright, so we're going to be creating this effect here. This is going to be our final outcome here. We should only have 4 layers because that's all that is really truly needed for this effect. So we're going to start by creating the background. So here we have a blank project. I'm just going to go ahead and select this to unlock it. Bam. So now we've got a layer here. So for this layer, let's actually create... Let's actually hit P for the pen tool right here. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna go from this corner. I'm just gonna go down to, let's just say, about here. And then go down to here. And then from there, we can just draw along the outside of our artboard, just to close that in. Now that we have that, we're gonna right click. It's gonna bring up some options here. I'm gonna hit make selection. We're gonna hit OK. Make sure the feather radius is at 0. Just gonna hit OK. And now we have this marching ants selection here. So we can go ahead and actually, you know what? Let's go over here. Let's hit new layer. And we're just gonna hold Control and hit backspace. And bam, it's filled. Now we could again hold Control and hit D, and that's going to deselect. So basically what I did by holding Control and hitting backspace, it just fills whatever the selection is, whatever selection you have, with a color which you have selected here. So it could be either or, you can select it and change it, up to you. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take this back and let's actually title these. We're going to say background 1. We're going to put background 2. The first background is going to be blue. So let's just go ahead and color code that so we don't get confused. And then the second one is going to be like a pink. So let's do violet. And just to visually keep it color coded. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to select our background 1 layer. We're going to go ahead down here and hit gradient overlay. Now I've already got my color selected. I've got it at a minus 45-degree angle. I have it on reverse because I did it backwards, but I just did reverse. It's simpler. Hit OK. And in case you're wondering what colors those are, the first one here, bam. And the second one here, bam. And all I did was just select the same color as the first one and just move it a little bit darker just to sort of get that gradient again flowing across. So we've got that. Go ahead and downsize this. We're going to go ahead and click the background 2 layer. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Gradient overlay. It's at the same thing, 45 degrees, but we're going to change the color here. Keep doing that. We're going to double click to select this, and we have our color picker here. Now for this, we did a kind of pinkish, kind of pale pink thing going on. Let's see if we can try to relocate that color. It's like somewhere around there. We'll do light for the bottom. It gets darker to the top. We could do vice versa too. It might look pretty decent. We're gonna do that. That's gonna be fine. Just copy this right here. Copy that number, and we're gonna go ahead, double click this side. We're gonna paste it, Control V, and then we'll just scoot it over to make it darker. And bam, it's looking pretty neat. Let's actually make it lighter. I want that side to be lighter. Just feel like it. That's why. I don't need to explain myself. And then let's actually move this a little bit darker. See, it's all fine tuning. You can do exactly, you know, whatever you want. It's up to you. You're the creative. Don't let me tell you what to do. Go ahead, hit OK. Okay, we're gonna downsize this again. So now we pretty much got our background layer. What we're actually gonna do is we're gonna right click on this with it background 1, and we're gonna convert it to a smart object. We're gonna do the same thing with background 2, convert to smart object. So now these are both smart objects. We can go ahead and color code them again because they lost their color. This is the back, it's gonna be blue. This is the front, it's gonna be violet. We're going to take our background 1, we're going to go to filter and put the filter gallery on that. Right, so now once you got it open, you're going to go ahead, we're going to make sure the grain type is set to soft, and we're going to decrease it. This is just going to give it some texture, a little bit of life, especially for that gradient. Give it a little bit of texture. Let's say like 10, it's looking okay. Let's just leave it at that for now. So grain type soft, I have the contrast of 50, intensity set to 10. You can adjust however you want. So actually I think that's a bit too much. Let's lower it a bit. Let's go to 6 or 7. Let's go with 7. I like that number. Yeah, there we go. That's better. And now what we could do is we could just actually hold Alt again, like we always do. And we could just click drag those smart filters and just drag it into our other layer, and that's going to apply the same exact thing. It's just duplicating it into background 2 layer. So we just drag and drop while holding Alt. So now we've got our stuff there, a little background, a beautiful looking background, very Technicolor is what it looked like. Yeah, color's a little bit off, but okay, we'll deal with that. I think I want to bump the grain a little bit for this one because the color, it's not rendering as fine as the other one, so let's try that. Yeah, I think we're good with that. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to want to create the 3D text effect. So we're going to hit T, or you can go over here to the text tool, and we're just going to go ahead and select on our artboard and write whatever you want. I'm just going to write the letter T, upscale it there. Let's actually set this. We're going to change the font to Mongolian. There it is. Beatty regular. That's what I selected. And let's go ahead and bring this down. Is that? Let's go to 750. A little bit less than that. Let's do 700. Maybe even less than that. Let's do 600. Okay, that's better. So we'll just do it with that. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to leave it at white. And this is the super simple part. Now, if you want to turn this text layer into a 3D text, all you got to do, select it. See the little 3D button right there? Bam. 3D. So now it opens up this whole 3D workspace here. And right here is where you're going to be controlling all of your properties for your 3D space to get exactly the look that you're going for. So we're going to actually start off here with the rotation, and we can dial this in, or we can use the controls on here to do what we need, but I'd rather just dial it in. So we're going to go right here, select this right here, which is the coordinates. We're going to adjust the angle. Now the same position that I got for the other one is going to be 42, and then the Y is going to be 35, and then for the Z I did minus 21. So that's going to give us that same position. Now we're going to go ahead into right here. So here in our deform properties here, we're going to be able to control the extrusion depth as well as the twist, taper, but we're not going to touch any of those to get the effect that I was going for. We're just going to go ahead and touch the extrusion depth, and we're going to go ahead and set that to about, let's see, 54. If we want, we could bump that up a little bit. Let's do 60 or 65. That looks pretty good. And so now that we've got that, we're pretty much done in here. Now you can go ahead and play with whatever you want. Now we have this light, right? So we've got this light source. We can go ahead and change where the light source is coming from in a 3D perspective. And if we wanted to get rid of the shadow, we can actually just check it off right here. See, once you select the light, it's going to bring up your light properties here. And you can go ahead and turn off the shadow. And now we have control over the shadow. So we can set this to wherever we want. You can create lights, more lights, and you know, get exactly what you're looking for. So we're going to do something about there. So let's just do that. So that looks pretty good. So now we've got this. We've got our T. We can go ahead. We can set it where we want in this 3D space. We can put it right there. That looks great. And we'll go ahead, go back into our layers. We'll deselect off of it. So now you can see it fully. So what I did to create this shadow effect was I just copied and pasted the T and converted it to a smart object. Then if I go ahead and turn it on, I added smart filters here, which I just added a Gaussian blur, which is set to 2.1. You can set it to whatever you want. Then I added a black and white here, just because if you don't, and you go ahead, which I added the filter gallery as well. This is why, if you had the filter gallery, go ahead and set the grain. I have the intensity to 98, contrast to 50. I have the stippled effect. You can see that adds that texture into there. Now, what happens is it changes the color when you render that out. So the colors change there, and so in order to get that back to black and white, there you go. So now you got your grayscale again by setting it to black and white. Now, what you want to do is you want to just double click on the shadow layer, and the last thing you're going to do is go to gradient overlay. And you just want to make sure that the black side is set to black, and then we have over here on the white side, we just want to make sure that the opacity is all the way down to 0. And you just go ahead and hit OK. You can adjust where you want it coming from. I have it set to 60 degrees right there, coming in from the side. And we'll hit OK again. And then you just, right here on the drop down, you just want to set it to multiply in the blend mode. And once you have it set to multiply, you can adjust with the opacity. Bring that down and adjust it any way you like. You can go ahead, even you know, duplicate it and adjust the Gaussian blur. You can blur it more or whatever you want, just to sort of play with the blending options there. But that basically is how I went about doing the shadow. Now that concludes our tutorial. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, be sure to leave it in the comments below. Also, be sure to hit that like button, give it a thumbs up if you found this video useful or helpful in any way, shape, or form. Feel free to share it. Also, subscribe, and be sure to hit that bell so you can be notified of all future tutorials and videos that get pumped from this channel. I'm Timothy Santana, once again, and I will see you next time.